so excited to be back. Welcome back to the MACC Cast, which stands for the Murray Area Chamber of Commerce podcast. I'm Dave Hansen. This is my cohort, Susan Bond.
Yes, and we are proud members of the Murray Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, and we are excited to be here with our guest and fellow chamber member, Thal Dixon. And you know, Thal, first of all, thank you for being here. And I wanted to know your background. I was been excited to get to know you through the chamber, but I love the idea of security and why that's so important to you. Tell us a little bit more. Let's let them know a little bit more about your background.
Well, I first got introduced to security cameras back in 2004. I joined a company down in California called All Digital Security, and that company was great for me. I became national sales manager, and I went around and was basically training ADT guys and others about how to use security cameras. Really kind of an in-house for a company, teaching people about security cameras. And it was a good fit. I had a military background, and I'd always liked photography and other things, so it was a really good fit for me right off the bat. And then as a couple years went by, I saw the need and had the opportunity, and I decided that I was going to go out on my own and start a company. So in 2006, I started Dixon Security Cameras in Gardena, California. So they're a suburb of Los Angeles. And I started out of my garage with basically a credit card with a $5,000 limit. And so,
And a lot of cameras stuck inside the garage.
So, actually, you know, at that point, I'd go pick it up as I did the job. But one of my first clients I actually sold to was the Pepsi bottling plant right there off the corner of 110 and the 405 freeway.
Oh, yeah.
And I went in there, and I had written a manual, per se, for the DVR that they were using, that they had been getting through ADT and stuff like that. And I went in and took over the account, and being a one-man shop, I went doing everything. I was able to give them great pricing, and I just took off from there. And I started growing quickly in California. But I decided that I didn't want to keep my family there in Gardena, California. I really wanted to get back to Utah. We had other family up this way, and I just wanted a better environment for my kids. We were in an area where my kids didn't really go outside and play, so I wanted to have that. So we moved to Sandy. In 2009, I came up here, and I started my business over. And
It's always a dream come true, right?
Yeah,
Start a business, have a successful move, and then
people
start
said
a
I was
business again.
crazy. They said, you're insane.
Oh, yeah.
Business is going great. Why would you want to leave? And I said, well, I started it from nothing once. I know how to do it. I'll just do it again. And so I came up here and I started over, and I started working with chambers. I started working with some networking groups and getting to know people up here. And I started as, on my own, just kind of working out of the garage for a while. And then after time, it grew. I started hiring employees, and so I have about 8 employees. And,
wow, congratulations.
And all we do is security cameras every day. We mainly focus on commercial, and that's where it is. So we do cameras for like the Utah Food Bank and the aquarium, and a lot of your large commercial, but we'll do a lot of change like Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Les Schwab, or different things. We'll work with them because what I tell people is it's about liability. See, a lot of people think cameras, and they're thinking, they put in security cameras and they're thinking that the cameras are there because someone's going to break in and steal.
Yeah.
Well, that happens, but how often does that happen to a business? Like how often? It's kind of like that insurance policy, right? The what if.
Yeah, we don't
Says
have
the
insurance
insurance
company.
agent.
You got to buy them all because someday
And
it's
that
gonna
is
never
be
know.
and
You never
that's
know.
difficult for some people because it is a what if situation. Now, when I go into businesses, what I'm usually focused on is the number one reason that people are looking at cameras for their businesses is liability. And liability is everywhere, and that's what cameras help you with. They help you when your doors are unlocked, the people are coming inside, you have the UPS guy coming in the back,
such a good
deliveries,
point.
all these things are happening, right? At that point, your locks aren't helping you. If you have access control, that can help, but if you don't, locks aren't helping you, alarms not helping you, and there's a lot of things going on. But some of the things that we look at, let's say you're a restaurant, okay? And let's say you have a liquor license. Well, if they're not following procedures and you lose your liquor license or you lose your food handler's permit, what does that do to a business?
Yeah.
What if you have a sexual harassment situation at work? What if you have violence from employees in the workplace? One employee against another employee. Or we go through great lengths as employers to create a safe working environment, and you put all these rules in place. If the employees aren't following the safety rules, where are you liability-wise? Workers' comp and other things. I always tell people one lawsuit can buy a lot of camera systems, right?
That's so true.
And that's really what we're talking about is. And there's a lot of things. And if you put it up for liability reasons, and you have cameras that watch different things, then if you do that, you're going to have what you need in place for the security elements as well. Mm-hmm. Just things like, for example, I get people that come to me and as business owners, and a lot of small entrepreneurs like myself, we have more than one location, right? So we're at home and we want to be able to check on the office, or we're at one location and we want to check in another location, and we see that if we're at this location, productivity is way up. but when the boss is away, right? Is productivity the same? I had a business owner tell me recently that he had a couple locations that we've done cameras for. And as we were putting cameras on one of his locations, just a couple blocks from his main store, he said that he gets about 70% production from his main store, from his guys that do repairs. And he said that a couple blocks away, he gets about 40%. And he basically told me, if we can raise that to 60%, the cameras pay for themselves in 4 months.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so there's a lot that has to do with just liability. I mean, we put a lot of cameras in places like McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Well, they're not trying to guard the fries. They're putting the cameras in because of slip and falls.
Well, yeah, it's just like I was saying. Well, and there's three sides to every story. There's yours, mine, and the truth. And the cameras are that eye, that third eye that will protect you, that will give you, that peace of mind. Which,
the cameras have a good memory.
Yeah,
and that's
I would hope so.
well, people tell me sometimes, like, I don't need a camera here because I'm here and I can see it. And I go, yes, but when something happens, when it's a lot easier to push play and say, this is what happened, and then show that to the jury and show that to the insurance agent or whoever.
Thal, excuse
me.
That is fantastic, all the things you're putting in the cameras and all the things you're sharing with us. We want to know a little bit more about how you give back to the community. Do you do anything for the community, or you're part of the Murray Chamber of Commerce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I have soft heart. I like to do a lot of different things. I write children's books. And one of the things I do with Dixon Security a lot is I sponsor book readings. I go into elementary schools, usually for the entire first grade. And I will do book readings for the first grade. And as part of that presentation, every kid goes home with a book. Sponsored by Dixon Security. And I get other companies that also sponsor me in that endeavor. I do a lot of things where we just donate to different causes, just providing opportunities where we can, because giving back is a huge thing. Another thing that I've done is I work with a lot of nonprofits. We do cameras for a lot of nonprofits. If you think about it, Salt Lake Housing needs a lot of cameras. I mentioned that we do the cameras for the aquarium, we do the cameras for the Utah Food Bank. What I do a lot of times with nonprofits, we've done some for some women's shelters. They don't have big budgets. Yeah. So I do special pricing, and we just make it happen. What I can do is I can stretch their dollars because I have great buying power with cameras, so I can go in and basically give them all the equipment at cost.
And see, well, go ahead. That makes me excited too. Yeah, when you're working with the chambers. And one of the things that too, again, fellow transplant from LA, coming to California, I totally understand it. And I love that you get involved with the chamber because there's so many resources. I fellow entrepreneur, didn't have a team here in local. Most of my stuff is national, and you get here and you have instant camaraderie. You have instant resources. You're working with the Chamber of Commerce. You can actually get involved with the community. And you can give back, which is exciting to hear you do that because that's really what it's about. Again, we're putting community back in commerce, and that makes us happy to hear about that.
Well, I just have to interject. I'm not a transplant from LA.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, my full roots go back.
Okay.
My parents graduated from
Utah. Yes, okay.
I'm an Army brat, so I lived in 10 states growing up, and I've moved all over, and I'm back home.
There you go. That's true. This is true.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And I've been here over 20 years, so I've acclimated. So I
have actually been in Sandy now. I've been in Sandy 9 years, which I go crazy. My kids, I joke with them all the time that I'm ready to move, not very far, just up the street or something. But I mean, my whole life, the longest I ever lived in one spot was 3 years, and I've been in this house for 9 years, and it drives me crazy because I can't stand just not having something new because I've always had new things to do all the time.
Thal, we are so grateful that you came by.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit more about your business. If you're interested in doing a podcast for yourself, please visit murraychamber.org. And to find out more about Dixon Security, please visit murraychamber.org as well.
Yes, he's got a special link there, as with all of our businesses with the Murray Chamber. And please know The chamber resources are available to business individuals, and they're free. And then if you want some exceptional additional benefits, you can become a chamber member. And just check out murraychamber.org for more information. But until then, we're so excited again. Thank you for being here, Thal. And on behalf of Dave and myself, we look forward to seeing you next time. Keep making good things happen.